So now we know the reason for all disease is originally, like for any computer, that it gets the control mechanism, the control program gets into an infinite loop. And it's more obvious, of course, in some cases of extreme cases like addiction, for example. Yes, or a behavior that's just repetitive, like somebody has to check the door all the time if it's locked, or the gas if it's locked, or has to check his money, or like Kiran has to check where's the money. So this is obvious in these extreme cases, but we all have areas where we easily get stuck. Yes? But what do we do? How do we get out of a infinite loop? Sorry. So don't scratch your head, ears, nothing. So, now, how do you get out of it? Yeah, you know, you say.
Reset.
Reset. It's exactly like on a computer. And so what you do on a computer, you either just click the power off button, or eventually maybe you have to reinstall maybe the whole program. It's a major reset. Yes? So there's small reset and there's larger reset. And we all have this reset every day by going to sleep at night. But reset, it should be and it will be the science of medicine of the future. See, because we have the computer around since 20 years, but we are not learning from it. That this is showing us where really, imagine, medicine today does not even know that we have a control mechanism in our system. Imagine they talk about biochemical things for 100 years already, but what is controlling the biochemics? Yeah, energy, okay. Maybe then some people say, well, put some energy, but what is controlling the energy? I mean, if there's power coming out of the plug here, something has to control that it comes out there. It's the processor, the computer in the power station that manages that there is power at all the time, because power cannot be stored. It has to be all the time moving. And that's for us also. We cannot stop this idea that you can save energy is like it's nonsense. There is no way to. I mean, you can use less, but you cannot store it. Energy means change. So, how can we do it? We can bring it to different areas, and this needs control. This needs information. This needs a processor. And medicine today doesn't know that there's, of course, a very complex software in every human, in every living organism. And that, of course, disease originates there. So, now, why did I invite Steve? Still talking, yeah? Because once we have an impulse, we have established in the person an understanding he has to make a change. He can make certain changes. And one key one, I mean, what do we more, I mean, we do only sleep more than the time we eat. Yes, in Thailand, I think it's even the other way around. You see, they eat more than they sleep. You see, wherever you see they're eating, yes? So, but it's about the same. That we spend so much time on eating, and so this is an area where we possibly need to make a change. What's the second most important thing in our life?
Sleep.
Huh?
Sleep.
The sleep, okay. What else? Sex, well, that's maybe for most people it's 5 minutes per month. It's not so, but what's very much related to this? Relationship. So that's takes a lot of time in everybody's life, yes. Maybe not with only the spouse, but maybe with the neighbor, with the children, yes. So human relationships, yes. And that's about it. I mean, there's no what else takes a lot of time in our life?
Work.
Huh? Work, but that's also relationship. It's with your customer, with your boss, yes. It's kind of, so these three things, they fill 90% of our life. And we have to know that in one of those areas, or sometimes in several areas, we get into an infinite loop. And actually, when we have one infinite loop, you maybe can deal with it with the other areas. Maybe you have a totally terrible diet, but you have a good relationship, then you can go to McDonald's every day, no problem. But imagine you go to McDonald's every day and then you have a bad relationship. I mean, then you feel like vomiting every day. see? And so on. So you can tolerate a certain number of infinite loops, but there's a limit for everyone. And now, is there something wrong? Did like God make a wrong design or something? Or why do we have today so many people in infinite loops? Well, like when you go into a countryside, people are so relaxed and they have hard life. They have many things to do, many children, they have little money, but most of them are much more happy than if you go to a big city. So what's happening? What's going wrong? Is there anything going wrong? What do you think?
Become detached from nature?
Well, that's what they say. Then we have to go back to nature, we have to go back to pagan rituals, we have to go back to eating organic, because that's what they're doing. They're organic food. They have, we maybe should not use deodorant, because they don't use deodorant. We should not use toothpaste, they don't use toothpaste. So now this is all the new age ideas. But going back, is this really our purpose? Like doing some voodoo, like Australian, this Australian pipes there, yes, or going only in loincloths, or going to every year twice to Brazil for ayahuasca sessions, yes, because this is what all the Aborigines do, and they're happy people. So we have to do some ayahuasca. So it's the wrong concept of going back. Why? Because our evolution is in the future, and what we are going through now as humanity and as individuals is for good purpose. There's a purpose. Why? Because those ayahuasca people and those Aborigines, they're doing the same thing since 20,000 years. They do it since the beginning of time. They do the same thing. But if you go to a place like Bangkok or Kuala Lumpur or Sao Paulo, you find so many absolutely interesting people. They do so many unbelievably creative things. Not one, not 100, 1,000 or 10,000, yes? But if you go to any, like the Aborigine there in Brazil, you will not find one special person. They're all the same. One smokes his cigarette a little longer than the other, but that's about the difference that they have. So we are in a situation of extreme polarities and extreme number of new things that we do not have learned how to deal with. And that's all what I call Dili. Dili is what is the basis for evolution. So the only thing is we have to learn that Dili is good, and we have to know how to deal with Dili to make it useful for our evolution. And I know, I can tell you, I know how to use it, and I'm making more and more use of it, and my life gets better every year. Every year I'm more happy, I'm more satisfied, I'm more content, I'm more creative. It's like I'm more in harmony with my environment. And that's what I want to bring to people. And I know core has been given to me as like an intermediate, as a tool to bring this message.